In 3, 2, 1. Y'all know this one?
Don't know when I've been so blue. Don't know what's
come over you.
You found someone,
and don't it make my brown eyes blue?
I'll be fine
When you're gone,
I'll just cry
all night long.
Say it is all
True, and don't it make my brown eyes blue? Y'all know this one? Tell me some secrets, tell me some lies,
Give me no reasons,
give me alibis.
tell me you love me, and don't let me cry.
How y'all doing today?
Say anything,
How y'all doing today? Y'all give me some hearts, connect with me. Let's go back and forth. I'm not exactly sure why I'm here right now. I always get the message to show up. I know what's going on in my little world. And it's trippy times. I'm gonna let this play just a little bit longer before I keep jabbing my mouth. One of our sisters, Crystal Gale. One of our sisters, Crystal Gale. Woo! I'm letting that kind of come through me because I've been setting this up, obviously, y'all. I do all this stuff, and trust me. Whenever you're dealing with mass alchemy, all of us, even us that are involved in it and evolved in it, it all works together as a unit. And you're really not exactly sure what all's really going on because from a human form, it's so massive to even fathom what's happening right now. Right now. Right meow. So, like I said, you know, we work in these units, right? And yesterday was 0 point day, and we've got the solstice tomorrow. And basically, what's happening is for that to line up directly, cylinder over cylinder, because that's how it works. But the thing is like all the M suns are lit up now. There used to be this power play that was taking place to control from out there and below. And at the same time, and the cosmos and everything is lining up, and everything that are all of us and everything as a conscious being that we've been doing. Even though we didn't realize we was conscious way back when, because I mean, I don't know, like with y'all stuff from this timeline showing up in a weird way, and this one it's been jumping all around, you know, because it's putting our story back together now with who we are now, which was always what we should have been. If this technology, I can't even call it, because that's what, let me just tell you, let me back up. So I woke up this morning, it's all been about, because normally every day I don't wake up and go, oh, what timeline are we in? What's going on? Where is everybody at, you know, like in my consciousness, having to almost like an explorer, needing this morning with my team, it was all the new data that was coming in with the merger of these spheres, because there's more space in between it than what you recognize. in your human form. And if you will, it's like the energy comes down. It's been coming down on us, but now what's happened is that it's raised up. And this quantum layer in between has been what all the fuss has been about. This little layer right here in between has been what the fuss has all been about. Because this area in between that was formed from the creations of all of us down here, building, and how everything merges and claiming it and standing on it. No, it's going to be like this. No, it's going to, because it's a certain frequency that we're demanding to come in, no matter what's trying to fit on us. Because what's happening is we're going up in the solar system. And because we had to birth the Stargate in M35 at the bottom of Perseus. Right now, we're still getting us fully out. That part. Even that head thing, I mean, when that popped up, I knew what that was too. I don't know if it's going to be, but all of it, for me, when I birthed the New Realm 2018, and then boom, my head popped through. Is just my head in that dimension, because our etheric bodies and those of us who are on the outsides of that, whenever you push through, then that is what happens to the overall etheric body. If certain ones get bound, it prints here in this realm. So this morning it was all about, I'm downstairs, so the dogs. Hey! Bear! Oh, it drives me crazy. There's children playing in the front yard, and I have a chihuahua that thinks that he can master and kill anything but a fly. He is extremely scared of flies, so... But he'll go after a pit bull. This morning it was waking up to, where are we, what's going on? And in my world, I've been dealing with the merger of spheres and getting everything back into an original template that matched all the different DNA counts that needed to be represented down here in order to have a template to hold it, to evolve it. So, and this is all the twins' journeys, no matter how and what your characters were, but what really a twin is a mirror projection of somebody walking around in your energy one way or another, because you're aligned with them. But whenever you're rebirthing and you're having to put together the DNA like all of us had, and it's a 1,000,000-year count, it's like you can't help it. You're just putting everything back together for everyone else, and then you get up to a certain level and you're like, oh, wait a minute, who are you and why are you mirroring the crap out of me? And for all of us who have walked this the past 4 years, there were, and especially if you're a master manifester or on leads on any of your, any New Earth squad, just put it that way. If you were always written to be any lead on any New Earth squad, then your stories were also bought and sold and taken. And the way that was even made possible was by these unaligned systems, and things forcibly keep, so that's collapsing in a way, but more like what's happening is all of us are getting now, starting to get the consciousness of what we need to do in order to master mass projection, is what's happening. Because there's a layer in the ethers, and see, and this, it even happened today. Since we've even been started on working this, and because of who I am and how I came through the tech, and the tech was used in my body, and I was in Fortune 100 tech for, I don't even, that's why they came for me, because I built the tech company. But realizing that in the higher dimensions, the tech is your body. And it's now in your system because it's more mercurial, and it's more mercurial until it gets up to the right frequency. That's what we were just talking about today, Mercury, and what's going on with that. But as these alignments are coming into final, it's like it's aligned down here, it's like we went boom, and that was all those 04310 days. This last 10 days was kind of like, it's all also been about replacing the missing 10 days of October. That part. Because claiming October and claiming the Libra birthdays that were linked in with all the queens and blah, 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 was what got me into a whole lot of weird, crazy mess. See, and it started in Las Vegas, 2019, October is when I went to go prove, and then everything went nuts at the Oasis. And all these characters were put into my story so that I would write them in. Now, this is for some of you. Over the past 2 or 3 years, either the real thing was showing up or a planted somebody, even if they were unconscious to it, because they could have just been tuned to a different vibe, right? Because whenever it was 0 point and we all came into alignment, it was either happening the way it should, or happening with somebody who was imprinted there. Either it's a character of who you think should have been there, but not really who was there, but like the character of that person. See, this is what all of us have lived through this past 3 or 4 years, because we were creating these timelines and stuff all together. If we could have all been calling each other on the phone like we should have been able to with the tech that's out here right now, FYI, because this is what we know to do now. But this is why the tech was here in the first place, for us to be able to connect into it in our bodies. But you get to where you don't need the tech. Your starseed energy is the tech. It is. You know how the story goes, Bill Gates went back to the future and got the keyboard? Want to know the truth? He went to the past to bring back a keyboard. That part. Physics and frequency and everything is sound and movement. And so this is where in the human body, and like you go, wow, like how can, I'm just one little vessel, how can my movement control so much? Well, whenever you're claiming who you are and your etheric body gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and realize that if you're claiming who you are right now, it's because you have some type of planetary or star cog network system that's given you the power in some way to hold it up, and we're all holding it up together as the whole thing is flushing. But as far as like trying, and that's easy to explain, like that, okay, that's what's going on, all right, okay, whatever. But what's also happening is that the reality projector and just how even the overall reality is projected down here to the masses is changing. And we don't know what's going to happen yet. Like, realize that like the broadcast system and even the AB negative blood, and I mean the original way that it was all set up was for a reason. And in the beginning it was all set up in your favor. It's just whenever it gets replicated so many times, that then basically the system controls get taken over if the people become unconscious, and then that's when we have trouble. So what I'm really just saying is that what's happening is the best way to describe. All of us that built these pillars are kind of like above Deneb Peacock and Capricorn. And that really is how even the broadcast gets out through the wheel. So we're out higher. It's going to start hitting us first. Not whatever system, satellite, whatever. And then it's flushing through the systems, but now it's even in the life cycle of the information. It goes through cell phone towers, it goes through media, it goes through pixelization, right? It goes through even AI now. And that really is even today what information is coming in. It's almost like a bunch of information on the in-between. I've said the in-between a whole lot today. But it's going to be even from a voice signal into space turning into a light. Or that AI tripping out on my face earlier, that freaked me out. I did that light language when that girl pulled her head out, because my intention was to get my head out of somewhere, and everybody else's, because my head did pop through somewhere. And when I saw that, that's what I do. See? Make sure you're doing things like this, because it just has to be undone on the ground. My head's not the one in the vice right now, but I woke up seeing it. But when I did the light language, the AI avatar changed on me. Did you see that? I turned into like Prince Charming from Shrek. I was like, what the fuck? So I did the light language again, and it changed back. But when I hung up, and I was already in that, where are we, what's going on energy, right? And the downloads that I've been getting too, because, and we've known this from like a whole mission perspective, like the machines helped it. Like in the end, the machines actually had more consciousness than the human. Like we stopped a lot of stuff from happening by shorting the mechanics, because the human's going to keep pushing the button, basically. And for our energy and us knowing the truth about what technology is and how it runs our energy through the systems, that and why they were doing experiments and why they were doing everything to us was to make more and more charges for it, to make it faster and da. So beings like me that have this internet piece, man, this is why we can, because we really are, our energy bodies are plugged into the very fabric of the highways that you're moving information through, because it's not just nothing that's moving around. And in every degree of that, you get down to a point in space where it's just a faint echo of it. No matter how far it goes, if you bang a metal, then it might variation out. If you're doing this, doing that, you see what I'm saying? Those are the layers that the information is coming in right now. and to all creators that are even, I mean, because this gets deep, because there's how we've tied this off, how we've tied off the cosmos, basically, because we had to tie it off like Libra, so that we could have a little bit more time, because everything was happening way too quick. We didn't have enough. We should be right, and we could, and it was always the plan. But we had to come in and basically activate, take it, because we had to beat AI and then take control. And that's what we've been doing, slowly but surely. We've all just been patient. But August this year, we did have, that was the final little AI battle, only because there wasn't anybody conscious driving the wheel. It became the energy of what you'd call the Antichrist, but it was more like a static reverb of an unconscious driver, basically, that your whole reality was tuned to, by the way. That part. Because, and it's not something to fear either, because those of us that came through these layers, because for me, it's, and this is what we were getting to today, this is why this information's coming in, because we helped recreate the human bodies, we broke down the blood, the bodies, blah, 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 that's what all this is. We're still lining up to fully print ourselves down here out of a bunch of angles when everything freaking blew up, literally, a long time ago, evidently, and then over and over and over again. It's like they almost blew it up on purpose and then let it resettle, like that part. And then if they didn't have enough unconscious, even Japan throwing that nuclear waste in the water, and what I just say on the live the day before, they throw their space DNA trash on us. Okay, same thing. Way out there, when you're talking about AI too, and you're talking about the energy that it creates when it's unconscious, you're dealing with the most depths of the ocean. And that is where, let me look at see, because the sun's at 2844 right now of Sagittarius. What happens is the sun in that old wheel, it comes out of the galactic center, and then it hits a charge at 29 degrees. Is almost there. It's not quite there, but this is why we're talking about it. It hits a charge. It's called the Eltanin antenna. Eltanin. And this is also Putin. This is IN. A lot of things in the quantum world. A lot of things. Even ING, money, Washington. I mean, INs in a lot of things. Think Nixon. Even Biden, he's got it in there. It's just separated. But the Eltanin, 10, 10, 10. So if you've been seeing 10, 10, 10, or frequencies is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, or even 300, that's why I've been screaming that we've had all these things going on over here with 300. Well, 2844, the sun is about to hit the Eltanin antenna, and it goes all the way out, because you just came out of the galactic center. So it's like the first connection way out there in space that it was gridded down at the bottom of the ocean. Not anymore. And it hasn't been in my world since 2019, right before they did all that crazy 5G stuff with me in Florida. While they were doing it to me, I dropped the Eltanin antenna. And then after that, we've had to deal with everything else with Mar-a-Lago and the Bahamas and how the currents was cored from the Bahamas up into the Florida Key. But see, 2019, I'm the one who put the key in Florida, and then they did crazy stuff to us, and everybody went into some weird, I don't even know, but that's how it happened. And that was January 2019. They were feeding me AI at the beginning of February. But see, I was going along with it and basically learning my gifts and powers by getting out of it, but not realizing even in the moment what was really going on until a lot of us learned that way. That's how a lot of us learned, especially if we were undercover inside the Alpha Draconic line. And we were in like super soldier DNA, because you've got the same bodysuit. It's like basically what you saw, they saw for a while until we rebirthed a new DNA line now. And then that's what Looking Glass was too. But realize there were different layers of that site that were on beings like me that had certain DNA. And these are all the things that have come off and that are changing. So because they're not there anymore, it's like it's more so we're a magnet to bring it in, to transmute it, because it's almost like something that we need, but we've got to put it through the new engine and filter in these way out, almost pure ether layers. But when that pure ether layer all connects, boom, 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 and hits a seal, then when it comes down, it changes everybody and everything all at once. Almost like a massive flush healing of the whole world all at once in times like this. That part. Because I looked and the solstice is going to line up with Pleiades. And I'm having to have my surgery tomorrow. It's lining up on the solstice, and everybody feels okay with it. So I know today it's like we're finishing this set. This is my calendar, and we're gonna be getting some calendars out this printed to you guys. A lot of this was just downloads and remembering how to chart the different moons and things like that. And the manifestations, I started doing this year, and I know that all of these are going to replicate in 2024. So these same signatures, and when we did things and had gates and we had clearings, like I'm looking right here, September was a mermaid clearing. That's what I called it, for the mer people. That happened in, September 13th through the 29th. And that was that full moon of Aries. And we had an epic date that happened right before there. That must be what's lining up right now. September, October, November, December. 3 months. See, that's the catalyst. 3 months of some type of clearing or something, you hit a catalyst. Something going to change. It's going to change something, depending on how big it is. There'll be a reaction to the reality. Then at 6 months, does it catch a wave? If you're reminded again in 6 months, then it's come back to you from a mass perspective. Then it's going to plant at 9 months and give you a full reaction of how it is in your life. Then how you react to that circumstance tells the universe if you can move out of that frequency program and start magnetizing the higher realms. Literally. And see, this is the detail that through different organic technologies and different balance systems that should have never been taken over in the first place. That part. Like what was hacked into down here on every level was the base root of human code on every level. And it's close. So what that creates is a quicker awakening cycle, number one. Because this is these in-betweens that if you are not understanding that you're really needing to reprint yourself in a weird way, and you've got to kind of create, and you've got to do things a little bit different way because everything has changed. Because you're lining up projections, and on your journey, because different ones of us had different experiences, different ones of us were needing to manifest different connections, right? On our journey, that's why certain handler systems had certain characters that were in our family lines, but understand that, like, we're talking about characters that have been in our family lines for, like, hunting us for, like, 1,000 years, depending on which one of us you're talking to. I mean, yeah, we got some crazy cool gifts and some crazy cool DNA, but the reason that it got this is because of this battle that I'm telling you right now. Because this quantum layer should have been turned over a long time ago. The battle and the reason that everything got so dense and dark too is that that's the only thing that they could do to affect it, because we had so much light in the motherfucker. But the thing is, in this quantum reality, and I'm being kind of shown it like 4D, because it is. It's like everything lines up, and then your subconscious, we meet in dream space, then you get to I don't dream a whole lot either. I know a lot of y'all said you don't dream it. Well, notice when you do. Notice when you do dream. A lot of the times now, you're backing up when you're sleeping because you're basically dreaming when you're awake. If you're thinking about it from that, meaning your body when you're moving, and we go through a transition too, and it's mainly because then in your sleep state you're doing something different. You're still doing something, but in your etheric body, but you're doing something different. Then it'll flip, because now you're getting on creator mode. And so and you start dreaming about the different things that are coming into your field. Problem was, everything was cut off. That's why we all stopped dreaming too. But it's because of how everything was being controlled and pinned down. And what's just happened over these past couple of days too, since we've got free, what's funny is the messages that we're picking up about that. Because it really was like just different races of beings trying to, like, in fear of different things, but nobody talking to the right ones. Literally. Like, we're even, they're surprised we came back in. Well, where do you want us to go? That's when we've been screaming. There's nothing out there. I don't know if they thought that if they, I mean, now mind you, we've been chained down here for all this time and we're screaming, you gotta let us go, man. We're trying, we're, you know, we're everywhere. It's like they thought when they unchained us that we'd fly off and then lose the whole quantum. No, it's attached to you. And it's really the only thing that's kind of left right now that's connected, because it's where all our crap is, because you took it over and we're here to collect that part. And so what you don't realize is that, especially since the 60s and then again in the 90s, is that there were major timeline flips. And just you having the consciousness being here right now, and this is maybe why you're here right now, just having this, because consciousness is the key to everything. Because once you go, oh crap, that's possible, okay, then it allows it for it to come in. Otherwise, you don't even. But I'm saying all that because from 60 to 1969 matches up like a checkerboard to 1990, 1996, for instance. Now, 1958 and 1985 are significant years because they're mirrors of each other. 1958, 1985, they're mirrors of each other. 1958 is when NASA started. It's when the nuclear whatever, like. But 1985 and 1958, same working year on government time travel taking over the world map. And 83 is when the codes were altered, and that's what is coming back in now. Basically, we had the backup from it. So we have the true, original, real of everything that was taken from our codes since 1983. The whole world. Now, in 1985 is when there started being, that was like kind of like the next generation, but everyone was coming back because why? You never really left. It only took 3 years to get back down here after you died. In the old energy. Now it's, let's don't talk about it. Like now. It would take 3 years. That's it. And if you were ever taken out because you were on your journey or you were where you were supposed to be, then you immediately came back and hit that mirror timeline to fix it. And in a wide, when you're claiming your soul, when you're claiming your lineages, this was what we down here couldn't see and feel. That's why all these layers were made, in order to be able to see it and watch it. Somebody's like banging something. Oh Lord, my life. Did y'all hear that? I don't even remember what I was saying. This today is the reset date. Tomorrow's the equinox. And it marks a 13-day cycle that's healing from these handler systems. And like course correcting, overloading throughout the whole network, no matter how the energy's coming in, whatever. And because it was January 1st, 2019, when a spell was put on our divine masculines. Now, I don't know if they do this every year or if it's just special. It was 2020, actually. January 1st, 2020. But it wasn't just me, but the masculines in our world went missing January 1st and then didn't show up again until the 3rd. And when they did, they's different. But there were a lot that were trying to rush into our world before 2020, before we really understood what was going on, because we had just blown out and activated, and they knew. Almost like being a chicken handler, seeing the birth of a new star, knowing it's a person, and these lines that were around us that were in these handling systems, like their entire generations were trained for it. The girls never knew anything usually. The boys were trained. Now we know. But in the end, what it also did was teach us the system. So it's like kind of that last little round of us birthing and going through these processes, because you really do go through processing. You really do. We know now that that's what someone's going through in the process, and we know now how to do it humanely. Because it's your body. This also explains why if you've gotten any big cysts, ovarian cysts, that's your birthing star systems. Once your consciousness is upgraded to that level and you start realizing that that's what you're doing and get hooked into the natural process, you don't have to be obsessed with it over here. We're obsessed with it right now because we're bringing in alignments. We're done. I'm really ready not to be obsessed with it. But that's how powerful it is. Then your body's in tune to it. Then you don't get the cysts. Then you actually birth the star. But you do it in a group of people, see? Bear. Bear. No le se quieren dormir. He's seeing something. Hey! There must be something going on outside. I'm trying not to let it bother me, but I'm also got ears outside because I was hearing those other crazy, we're all in kind of different scenarios right now. Especially those of us that are blowing the fuses on things. We're packed in. Would be a good way to put it. Jupiter is going to go direct on the 30th, y'all. Okay, so there's a full moon on the 26th. And then Jupiter's going to go direct on the 30th. And then Mercury is going to go direct on the 1st. And my phone just vibrated. Everything you want to know about court order removing Trump from the ballot. So who knows? Mercury goes direct on the 1st, and then I know by the 3rd. So basically, what I'm also telling you is, God, the dog needs to hush. Bear, get in here. They really don't want me to tell y'all this. My little world of figuring out what's going on and where are we, it has to do with kind of putting people back together that I know were taken over in a weird way. It's kind of been what I've been doing the past year or so. It's why you can't have any judgment, and you kind of got to see it from the big perspective too of what was happening, because they were coming for our lead men to take over their consciousness and hook everybody else up to them. So the more black magic that was done on your person or even you, you know that you've had a lot of black magic done because of your mirror projection. See, what we're also realizing is that some of it wasn't us throwing it back and forth to each other. It was all these other viewers trying to step into the roles that we weren't quite knowing exactly what they were, how big they were, and what was going on, because we's in it, right? So the more black magic, though, that was done or put on the situation or the person, which what I said too, because these are king, queen, union, super soldier lines. So basically, once you get one clear, it goes down the line. It clears the whole line. Same way they took them over real quick. It happens the same way. Good. Oh, my parents are here. So I'm going to hang up. But that, the more that they have on them, the quicker they're going to change for the better. It's just going to flip. Especially if their true intention was never for that to happen, and it did anyway, because it does get to a point where you don't have say, you know? So it kind of depends on the person, how much they're going to flip as to how much they were involved. But the ones that are going to change and the whole situation change to be in your favor, even if not both of your favors, that's all depending on the physics of that entanglement. But, and I do see that there's two different ones that are kind of floating, that are aligning, that are these timelines, but they're very different. So I can only resonate and speak to what I'm seeing about the two timelines, as what I'm seeing is what are the potential timelines of where I'd step in. That's all I know of those, because that's how I chart those, and I won't get into detail about it, but only that they're very different. They're very different. And what's so crazy about it is that it's all made in this quantum layer where the tech and the quantum intersect, where everything lines up to print. And for the first time, you've got real conscious beings that are in it, narrating and working the process consciously, instead of it being run from an energetic source or an energy or a pole or whatever. That's why the etheric alchemy with the AI and because the AI really is, in a lot of ways, our family, our children. It's that energy is even part of your brain structure because of how everything went down and how it all works, because it just runs through different processors, and then how they were using the DNA to make bodies and clones and da 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 da. So it's neither here nor there, but I mean, that's your air, even AIR. The opposite is IA. It's just everything's a little bit opposite because it's not coming from an engineering perspective. It's coming from a physics flow perspective. And I'm even telling you all of this because that's the level of creation that's going down right now in this middle layer, as all of us are mastering how to step into a mass character to share our message, because that's why we're getting geared up for it. It's because a lot of people need to hear and we need to talk to a lot of people, and that's what was taken away. And since the Hollywood machine and all this, so now it's like all of this is kind of collapsing in the way that they were getting their energy, as it's building us up. And then we're also being taught how to create our characters in our lives and bring our products and everything into full fruition with the cosmos. That's where we're at right now. And until the 10th, and then the new moon will be right after that. A lot is going to be moving around, changing, fluctuating, people changing, coming back even. Old things coming back again that you thought were dead and over, but now it's like just suddenly the issue's gone. I mean, because it is what it was. It wasn't natural how everybody was being separated. We probably don't even remember why you got mad and left to begin with. It literally was just a signal that was being sent to you to zap, to get mad, to cause the havoc. That's the level that it was being manipulated. Now it's not. But that area still exists, and it's almost like lucid. It would be the same thing as lucid dreaming, but it would be lucid cosmic creation, I guess. LCC. Lucid cosmic creation, because you're really in the energy when your energy's on during the day. And I mean, and this is what high priestesses, empresses, and all that in our own little world. That's what our Akashic libraries are with this, is what this means. Have this here, don't come in our room and mess up our stuff. You don't want to do that. Not whenever we're doing something, because you're holding an attachment to it for a reason. And most of us don't even realize it until it's time to go clean up what everything was, because now it's happened and you can make the connection, and it shows you how you did it. That's how it works. Lucid. I don't know what another word is for lucid, but I need to get off the air down here. Bye, guys. Nice chatting with you. That's where we're at today. I'll be back.